Welcome to the CompTIA Project Plus prepcast by baremetalcyber.com. The CompTIA Project Plus PK0005 exam contains up to 95 questions, all of which must be completed within a 90-minute time limit. These questions are presented in both multiple-choice and performance-based formats, meaning you will be tested not only on recall, but also on your ability to apply concepts to specific situations. By understanding this layout in advance, you can approach exam day with fewer surprises and a clearer sense of how to pace your efforts. The exam is divided into 4 primary content areas, known as domains, each of which represents a different percentage of your overall score. This weighting matters because it helps you identify where to spend the bulk of your study time. A well-planned approach focuses on the largest domains first, while ensuring that the smaller ones are not overlooked, since every question contributes to your final score. Domain 1, Project Management Concepts, carries the most weight at 33% of the exam. This section assesses broad conceptual knowledge and vocabulary, covering areas such as project methodologies, risk management, quality assurance, communication strategies, and procurement principles. Because of its size, mastery of this domain is essential to achieving a passing score. Domain 2, Project Lifecycle Phases, makes up 30% of the exam and focuses on the 5 process groups of a project: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing. You will encounter scenario-based questions that require you to identify responsibilities, outputs, and sequencing within these stages. Strong familiarity with the flow and interconnection of these phases can significantly boost your performance. Domain 3, Tools and Documentation, accounts for 19% of the exam and concentrates on recognizing and using various project tools, documentation methods, and performance charts. You will need to be able to identify resources such as Gantt charts, dashboards, risk registers, and status reports, as well as understand analytical tools like histograms, control charts, and other quality metrics. This domain rewards practical familiarity with both planning and reporting mechanisms. Domain 4, Basics of IT and Governance, represents the remaining 18% and covers IT-specific concepts alongside governance and compliance topics. It includes areas such as cloud computing models, operational change control, physical and data security, privacy regulations, and compliance frameworks. For test takers without a strong IT background, this domain is worth extra attention early in the study process to build a solid baseline. When considering the weight of each domain, it is important to remember that domains 1 and 2 together make up 63% of the exam. However, smaller domains can still be decisive, especially if you are aiming for a safe margin above the passing threshold. To pass, you must perform competently across all 4 domains rather than relying on a strong score in just 1 or 2 areas. The majority of questions you encounter will be multiple choice, with a single correct answer out of 4 possible responses. In addition, you will face performance-based questions, which require you to apply knowledge in a simulated environment or problem-solving scenario. These often take the form of placing steps in the correct order, matching tools to situations, or interpreting project documentation. Performance-based questions focus more on problem-solving skills than memorization. They may require you to recognize the correct sequence of actions in a process, analyze a scenario to choose the most appropriate solution, or evaluate project artifacts. While the live exam will not provide external visual aids, you should be comfortable interpreting diagrams, charts, and other resources based on your study and practice. Given that you will have roughly 1 minute per question, pacing is a critical skill. Spending too much time on one challenging item can cost you opportunities to answer others that you might find easier. A good strategy is to mark difficult questions for review and return to them once you have answered the rest, ensuring you maximize the number of questions you attempt. The testing platform includes navigation tools that allow you to flag questions, move forward or backward freely, and track which items remain unanswered. Using these features strategically can help you manage performance-based and longer scenario questions without losing momentum. Familiarizing yourself with these tools during practice exams will make them second nature on test day. Not all questions on the exam are equally difficult. Some will test straightforward terminology recognition, while others will require applying processes to a nuanced scenario. This range means that you must be prepared for both quick factual recall and deeper application of methods and principles. Balancing your study approach to address both will improve your overall readiness. Although CompTIA does not publish the exact passing score for the PK0005 exam, estimates suggest that a scaled score equivalent to roughly 70% accuracy is required. This makes consistent performance across all domains more important than aiming for perfect scores in a single area. Building steady accuracy across the breadth of the exam will keep you in a strong position. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Every question you see on the PK0005 exam is tied directly to one or more objectives from the official CompTIA framework. This ensures that the test content is tightly aligned with the published scope, and that there are no surprises outside the areas you have been advised to study. By using the objectives as the foundation of your preparation, you ensure that every hour you spend studying is focused on the material most likely to appear on the exam. Some questions will draw from more than one domain, blending elements such as risk management from Domain 1 with scheduling concepts from Domain 2. These crossover scenarios are common because they reflect how projects work in reality, where processes, tools, and responsibilities interact rather than operating in isolation. To handle these effectively, you should study not only the definitions within each domain, but also how those concepts connect across the full project lifecycle. Careful reading of each question is essential. Pay attention to qualifiers in the question stem such as most likely, best, or first, as these can change the meaning of the entire prompt. A common pitfall for test takers is to choose an answer that is correct in some situations but not the best fit for the specific scenario described. Reading slowly and deliberately can help you avoid errors caused by rushing through the question text. The exam will also present distractors answer options that may sound correct at first glance but are slightly out of context or less precise than the correct choice. The best way to deal with these is to eliminate options that are clearly too broad, too narrow, or unrelated to the domain being tested. By narrowing your choices and matching keywords from the question to the most accurate answer, you can increase your odds of selecting the right response even if you are unsure initially. Since there is no penalty for guessing on the CompTIA Project Plus exam, you should ensure that you answer every question. Leaving items blank only lowers your score. For multi-part performance-based questions, partial credit may be awarded, so even if you cannot complete every part perfectly, it is worth providing your best effort. Eliminate the least likely answers quickly and make an informed selection rather than leaving the item unanswered. If time remains after you have completed all the questions, revisit those you flagged earlier. A second review can often reveal details you missed when you were moving quickly through the test. While it is important to trust your preparation and avoid overthinking, there are times when new insight from later questions can help you refine an earlier answer choice. Managing test anxiety begins long before the exam day. Familiarity with the structure, question types, and pacing will reduce uncertainty, which is a major source of stress for many candidates. Practice exams can help simulate the real experience, and repeated exposure to the testing format can make the live exam feel far less intimidating. Enter the test environment with a calm and focused mindset, knowing you have prepared systematically. The testing environment itself should not be an afterthought. Whether you are testing remotely or in a physical testing center, follow all requirements and instructions carefully. Make sure your workspace is quiet and distraction-free. Confirm that your identification matches the exam registration, and be ready to complete the check-in process, which may include a brief security or technical verification before you begin. On exam day, the session will begin with a short tutorial that explains the navigation tools and interface features. A visible timer will run throughout the exam, allowing you to keep track of your pace and adjust as needed. Once you have completed all questions and submitted your answers, preliminary results will typically appear immediately, giving you instant feedback on whether you passed. You will also receive an official score report, usually sent via email or accessible through your certification dashboard. This report will break down your performance by domain, highlighting the areas where you performed well and those that need improvement. However, it will not show which specific questions you answered incorrectly, so your focus should remain on the broader content areas. If you do not pass on your first attempt, CompTIA allows retakes after a short waiting period. Use the score breakdown to identify your weakest domains and refine your study plan accordingly. Many candidates find that focusing intensively on these areas, while continuing light review of stronger domains, leads to success on the second attempt. Ultimately, understanding the structure of the Project Plus exam is as important as mastering the material it covers. By knowing the domains, their weights, the types of questions you will encounter, and the tools available to you during testing, you give yourself an advantage that goes beyond memorization. Success on the PK0005 exam depends on both balanced study and confident execution, and thorough preparation in both areas will give you the best chance of earning your certification on the first try. Thank you for listening. Please follow baremetalcyber.com on social media and check out our books at cyberauthor.me.